Hello and welcome to the lecture series on monetary economics. So today I have different kinds, dimensions or aspects of credit for you. Since we know that credit is not a homogeneous commodity or a good or an asset, so therefore what can we do is we can classify that into different aspects such that each aspect is serving to a particular direction or particular dimension. It is specializing in one aspect or one dimension. So now let us look at the kinds or the dimensions or aspects of credit. So the first thing is the source of the credit, where the credit is coming out from. The second is the end use of the credit, where it is going to. And the third is the users of the credit, that is who is using it. The next is the term of the credit, for how long the credit is being extended or used. And the last is the cost of the credit, that is what is the underlying cost to procure that credit. So let's get started. I'll talk about each of them in brief. The first is the source of the credit. The source of the credit, in that first is what are the various sources of credit, whether these sources are institutional or these are non-institutional. Meaning thereby, if at all I'm talking about institutional credit, that means it is coming from banks. When I'm talking about non-institutional credit, it is coming from money lenders and people like them. So this is the source of the credit, where the credit is coming from. Next we have the end use of the credit. Now the end use of the credit can be understood with respect to two important broader concepts, but to look into that, we should know that credit is a scarce resource, and therefore you have to make sure that there is a proper allocation of it. So therefore credit can be allocated, or it should reach the spheres of the economy via production and consumption. Now for example, let us assume credit is going for production, that is it is going for the production of a car. So therefore it is used by the firm which is producing car, but it should also go for consumption. So therefore now the credit will go to consumption in the form of loans which are extended to buy cars. So this is how the end use of the credit is decided, whether it is going to the production or it is going to the consumption. So I hope the aspect is pretty much clear. Now let us move to the users of the credit. Who are the users of the credit? So now this is again the most important aspect of the aspect or dimension or the kind of credit. Why? Because it should, for example, a credit is intended for say land development, or say rural development, or say industrial development. So it is now the user, whether the credit is going to the right user is very much important, because for example NABARD is extending loan, but that loan should go for, NABARD means National Bank for Agricultural and Rural Development. Now if at all NABARD is extending any loan, that loan should go for either rural or agricultural development. That means the end the user of the credit, the person who's actually bound to get the credit, whether that person is getting it or not. Land development. Now the credit extended by land development bank should go only for land development. Housing development banks. So it should go for housing development itself. So this is how the user of the credit can be understood. So I hope the concept is pretty much clear. Now let us move to the term of the credit. Now term of the credit is the length or the time for which the credit is being extended. For example, say short term. Now short term is 1 year or less. So it can be 6 months, 3 months, up till 1 year. Then you have medium term. Medium term is more than 1 year, that is 1.2, that is 1 year 2 months, and then from there till 10 years. And then we have longer term, which is 10 years or more than that. This is given for developmental projects. This is given for example, say construction of dam or highways. If at all I am constructing a highway, such long term credit is given for that. Let us now move to, I hope the concept is pretty much clear. Let us now move to the cost of credit. Cost of credit is whether the credit is cheap, whether the credit is costly or dearer, or whether the credit is usurious. Usurious means it is ultra costly. That means it is just extortionate form of taking money from the people. This form of extra expensive stuff can be seen with the help of the money lenders, the first source the second source of credit, non-institutional source of credit. So I hope the kinds or aspects of credit are pretty much clear. They are source of credit, end use of credit, the users of credit, the term of the credit, and the cost of the credit. Thank you so much.